Hey, I'm just saying I told you guys to take a look at Abbott Laboratories earnings, okay? They reported earnings pre-market today, and the stock ended up a positive 5.5%, a time in which the market itself was pretty well flat. So we ended the day overall pretty flat in terms of the Dow, but Abbott was up 5.5%. So let's take a look at these earnings and see what is going on with Abbott and see if it's worth considering. So Abbott went ahead and on a non-GAAP basis beat by 4 cents, 65 cents, and on a GAAP perspective beat by 5 cents, a 30-cent GAAP EPS number there. Revenue of 7.73 billion, which is up 2.5% year over year, beat by 260 million. That is not bad. They were only projected 7.5 billion. They did 7.73. So good numbers here. Go into a little bit more on the specifics, then we'll hit their slides that they sent out. Abbott Laboratories, you see revenues up 2.5%. Nutrition up 6.3%. Diagnostics down 0.8%. Established pharmaceuticals, so they're drugs that they're known for, up 5.2%. And medical devices up 1.4%. Net income was actually down 16.1%, so you see a little bit of a EPS decline, 21% year over year EPS decline. But from a non-GAAP net income perspective, they were up, and a non-GAAP EPS perspective, they were up as well. I tend to look more at the GAAP EPS personally in the normal net income instead of the non-GAAP net income, so a little bit less profitability this year. I think there's a lot of reasons. They're definitely putting a lot of money into research and development right now. A lot of money in. If you think about it, this is one of the companies that is completely on the front line for this pandemic right now. And you see its previously announced guidance for 2020 is suspended due to uncertainties regarding the pandemic. So they have just pulled guidance. They haven't given new guidance, and it's hard for companies to give guidance right now because you don't really know what is going to happen. Let's take a look at these slides, or should be slides, but look at this. They didn't do slides. They just did a big old freaking PDF. Thought I wouldn't notice, huh? I noticed. Our diversified model delivered in Q1. 7.7 billion in sales, plus 4.3% on organic basis. Obviously across Abbott, as we saw, on an organic basis. Don't forget that, on an organic basis, asterisk, up 7.3 in nutrition, up 9.3 in pharmaceuticals, up 2.9 in medical devices, and 0.7 up in diagnostics. They're helping to stem the spread. So they have launched the new lab-based antibody blood test, which is the game changer. Available now in the U.S. for detection of the antibody that identifies a person has had the novel virus. Oh, this is the game changer, baby. This is what I've talked about too. Once this is, finally approved by the FDA, the government says, hey, let's do it. We're going to start doing this, and this is how we get to going back to normal. When we find out those people who have the antibodies or have had it and are immune now, those people can return back to work. So this test is massive. And Abbott's obviously on the front line with this. It's crazy. They launched 2 new detection tests. The rapid point of care ID Now test delivers positive results in as little as 5 minutes, as well as the M2000 real-time EUA lab test for hospitals and reference labs. So very exciting. That ID Now test is massive, as they're making so many of those. Very exciting to see what's going on there as far as this company is concerned. So they expect to produce millions of tests per month, deploying them across areas of greatest impact. They're supporting the impacted communities. They're donating funding and products to support frontline healthcare workers, families, and communities. Again, you see a net income decrease for reasons like this. They're really taking a lot into this and helping out communities, which a lot of companies really are. And it's very respectable. They're giving to their people, or they're giving back to their employees. They're protecting their employees. They protective steps to limit exposure at their sites and further enhance facility safety for employee working to continue to supply vital healthcare products. Awesome stuff going on for them. Our product portfolio is strong in driving the future of healthcare. Obviously, you see for Freestyle Libre, sales were up 63%. It is a 14-day system, can now be used in hospital settings during the pandemic, permitting frontline healthcare workers to remotely monitor patients with diabetes receiving inpatient care who can scan themselves. So this is how, a lot of these appointments now for doctors are done via call. It's all done over the phone now at this point. A lot of these companies, at least, are doing that, or a lot of these doctors are, which is it's a massive thing. So the fact that they're able to track those patients that way, they can track them, via this app, so that way they don't necessarily have to go off the readings. Because what kind of sucks is if you're doing it just over the phone, obviously, typically it'll be a video conference for them. They'll typically ask you to weigh yourself, check stuff like blood pressure on your own, which is not necessarily what you're looking for, but using an app like this is beautiful, because that way the doctor can know what's going on with you. If you need help with anything, it's fantastic. It's at least something. They've received expanded reimbursement in Japan to include people with type 2 diabetes using multiple day injections of insulin. And they announced collaboration with Insulet to create an integrated insulin delivery platform. This chick is throwing a football, but she's not holding the ball properly. So I don't know what that is. But heart failure sales were up 11% on an organic basis. They received U.S. FDA approval for less invasive surgical approach for heart failure patients. So for the structural heart here, the CE mark for 2 devices to treat challenging forms of heart disease. They've got the TriClip and the Tendyne. The TriClip is the world's first minimally invasive clip-based repair device for the treatment of tricuspid regurgitation or leaky tricuspid valve. Very, very cool. And the Tendyne is the first of its kind technology that treats mitral regurgitation in patients requiring a heart valve replacement without open heart surgery. Interesting stuff. It looks like a tea bag and not, you know what I'm saying, that kind of tea bag, if you know what I'm saying. So here, you want to know what organic sales. So, organic sales growth excludes impact of foreign exchange. Boom. There you go. Exciting. That's just exciting stuff. So there's Abbott Laboratory for you. That's really everything they have going on with their business. It's pretty darn exciting, all things considered. This company's just, again, I believe it seeks to benefit from all this, all things considered. A lot of the stuff they do have to donate and give out, but overall, this company is doing very well. I do have concerns over just in the future what this mass amount of testing means. If it ends up coming to a time where we realize maybe we overreacted, maybe not, I don't know. Again, who knows? But it looks like the numbers are going to be a lot less than we initially projected. What happens if we have all these tests and it ends up the hospitals don't want them because, we're at a point where everything's reopened? That's fine. So I think there's going to be a big net income loss for this company overall, but I think the company's doing super well. I think there's a lot of short-term benefit for the stock, and long-term, I like what the company does. If you look, though, year-to-date, one thing is concerning: when the market's down 10%, this stock's up 10%. But there's good reasons for it. Since their low point, they're up 52% from there, but there's a good reason for it. Is because they're doing good things to help stop this. So investors are in. I could see a dip if we get bad earnings, but this is good earnings. I don't know what next quarter looks like, but I don't think it's going to be that bad for this company. So I think this company's decent. I mean, it's obviously a good company, but pricing's just interesting on this one. It just makes you wonder. Valuation's a little bit rich on it at this point, but I like the company, and I think it's a good consistent hold. Not to mention they pay a decent dividend too, which should stay in effect through this because it's not massive. Their payout ratio isn't massive, so I think this company's doing good things. Very nice. I hope you enjoyed.